What's up everybody, Quasi here, and I have something a little bit different for you. This was a ranked arena match where we went 4v5 the whole match. As you can see, there's a guy DC'd. I think it was a Neath that didn't load in, but we decided to play it out without surrendering, and it was a pretty fun match. Good plays both ways sometimes, also some bad plays, but yeah, I figured I'd share it with you. We are the red team in the top right, as you can see. I also have the stats up. I did not record this match the way I normally do from my own perspective while I'm playing it, and it's not a live commentary, but thankfully all ranked matches are recorded with the SMITE's replay system, so I decided to load that up and play the match this way, or at least record the match anyways this way. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of perspective that's not just me like I normally do, so it should be interesting. Tell me how you like this or dislike it, and I might do more of these in the future, or I might not do them at all. It's up to you guys. So I'm playing Ymir. I start with Eye of the Urchin, or I think that's what I'm going for. That might be the wrong name, but mostly because it's a good split defensive item between physical and magical, and it stacks. So if you get it early, every time you kill an enemy, you get some extra protections, which is nice, and that can add up. I think the cap is 10, but that's still pretty significant, especially for the cost of the item. It's not too bad. Just going back to buy items and heal up. Play it safe early game, and in this match particularly, we were all trying to play it safe since it was 4v5. We did get aggressive towards the middle and end, but then we, for the most part, I think we stayed back and tried to play at least somewhat safe. You kind of have to when it's a 4v5 situation, because if you go in, you're going to lose the team fights if the other team is even halfway coordinated, because they've got one extra player. And that really adds up. Though we did have Freya, which is one of the top tier ranked arena picks, just because she hits so hard, she scales really well. Nemesis is also pretty good in ranked arenas. She's got the damage and the chase from all her mobility, but she can also survive decently with her shield, which is pretty nice. She's a pain to play against. If you play against her as a tank, you want to build an item like Witchblade, which is an aura item that slows their attack speed, plus it makes you move faster. So I actually put on Witchblade in this match eventually because the Bakasura on their team is doing crazy damage. Bakasura hits so hard, he does true damage with one of his abilities. And someone just invited me to something. Anyways, that was while I'm doing the audio opposite commentary. Just ignore that. Isis stuns. Even though I don't have too many items at this point, I already have a decent amount of protections just with that Eye of the Urchin, so I can take some hits. You can see I'm eating Isis Spirit Balls straight up. It's not doing too much. Switch over to Shanga real quick. Go ahead and ult. Nemesis running around. Freya ult. Getting some mad damage off. Then Bakasura coming in with his damage, but I just freeze him. Shut that down. Ymir is really good against melee like assassins and bruisers, because you can zone them out of fights completely. I mean, he can zone anyone out of fights, but especially melee, because they get close, boom, freeze them, and protect your teammates. Plus he has the slow on his 2 and on his ultimate, which you'll see me use a couple times to let my team finish off the low enemy players. I'll slow him, even though it does do decent damage, but the slow is actually more important, I think, as Ymir, because your team can do more damage than you ever could. Also, another important mechanic in arenas is last hit the minions. If you don't last hit the minions, you're not going to get those points, which comes out really important. It's why Ao Kuang is such a strong pick in arenas, because he can last hit whole waves of minions pretty easily. Just drop the tornado and be done with it. Poseidon cripple, it's really strong. He's another strong mage pick for his lane clear and for that cripple. Plus his ult spike damage on that. So The other team has a decent, oh, I totally blew that freeze. The other team has a decent team comp, but they don't have a true tank. They have Odin playing tank as Bruiser, and that can work, but he doesn't have any real, Nemesis got away. He doesn't have any real hard CC like Ymir, Bacchus, or even Jeb, which is really what you need on a tank in arenas. The CC can save your team, zone out the enemies because they get scared because they know it's coming. Set up kills, all that good stuff. Oh, I accidentally put it into slow-mo. Hold on, let me figure out how to fix this. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, I think that might be the ultimates. Certain ultimates automatically triggers slow-mo in spectator mode. Forgot about that. You'll see that Nemesis shield on purpose on top of Poseidon ults, which is pretty smart because it just heals her up. She doesn't take any damage, and it damages the Poseidon. So good Nemesis players will purposely walk into like delayed damage abilities, like say Scylla's 2, I think, her main like AoE. They'll pop their shield and heal up and then walk away. Wow, totally missed that freeze. Got that wall off though. Come on, get Bakasura. We got this. Wow, we could not kill him. There we go. Give me a kill. That Bakasura hits like a truck. There we go. Freya was doing work in this game. Beast mode. Isis can be pretty strong in arenas if you can hit the stuns, and if you have a team that will take advantage of your stuns. She is insane, especially if you go cooldown. She's got a low cooldown silence, and then the stun. She can be a pretty good support mage, and she can do decent damage with that spirit ball. I like to combo her with the Polynomicon. A spirit ball stun for big spike damage, and then tap him with one of your basic attacks. Stun! Nemesis ult to slow him down. I kind of purposely split up on some of these fights because I know Nemesis or Freya is going to be able to take out the guy on their own. So I want to keep the other enemies out of the fight and give my teammates more time to finish them off. Like you'll see here, freeze, drop it, totally turn around and run away. I know Nemesis will be able to finish it off. Switching to Chana while I go back to base. No, Nemesis. They actually managed to kill our whole team, I want to say 2 or 3 times in this match, deicide. And, I mean, we were missing our 5th player, so quadra kill, but still. Good plays on the other team. Changa there, giving it up. That was a good play. That stun allowed the siege minion to get in, which gave us a decent lead in points, or more of a lead in points. We were already at a decent lead at this point. That Bakasura damage. I think this is one of the parts where we get totally wrecked, because Bakasura just, he nukes all of us. Yeah, you can see all of us are dead. I'm the last one alive. I've got no movement abilities or anything like that on Ymir, so couldn't do too much. Let's see our items. Fatalis on Freya, so good because it lets you chase people down. Fatalis is also really good on hunters, I find, because you can also chase people down. I run it on Jubilanke, Cupid, pretty much all hunters. See, that was one of the ults I did for the slow. giving my teammates time to work them down. Poseidon got nuked. And even though we got decided, we turned around and decided to them. All things considered, we did have a pretty good team comp. Ymir for the initiation and zoning, CC, Freya for crazy damage and some additional slow and CC with her banish, Chang'e for the support, the heals, and then her ult, which came quite handy a couple times, especially like pushing in the siege menu. And then Nemesis for chasing people down and being the warrior. Ultimate that I missed. Sorry about that. I don't know which one that was. Freya's the only one alive anyways on our team. Now, because the enemy team has a siege menu now and we're all dead, this is a really good time for the enemy team to push, especially since it's 5-on-1, or it was just a moment ago. If you ever have a siege minion like that, push. They missed an advantage here because they really could have pushed us hard with all their ults, but you see we're just sitting there banging it pretty hard. Managed to drop it before it gets in the portal. Ymir freeze, Freya damage, ulting for slow and some damage. Freya ulting, get some damage off. Bakasura incoming, good banish by Freya. Then Nemesis, even though she was low, she turns around and ults the Baka and lets us finish him off, which is that was a pretty good move, I think. A good trade because the Bakasura was their main damage, even though their Odin then came in and finished off the Nemesis. Going back to base to heal up. You know, I don't think I bought any active items on my Ymir this match. Actually, sometimes I'll do that because I think I need the defense from the items more than I need like Blink, because Blink is a pretty standard and pretty powerful item on Ymir, but in this case I had a lot of speed items, like the Winged Blade, Winged Wand, or whatever it's called now. At least 2 right there, plus regular boots. So I didn't feel like I needed Blink to catch the other people off guard. Isis wasted her ult there. Then Bakasura comes in, look at the damage. Drops me to half health just like that. I do have to say the spectator mode is phenomenal. Pyrus has done a really good job on that. For all the stats you can see, the different view modes. Freya ulting for the kill. Big damage. And I'm going in to chase down Isis if I can, but she's a bit fast. Probably should have turned around and focused Odin, but my teammates are fast enough that I probably realized they were going to be able to finish him off. The other team does have an Anubis, which I think helped us a lot actually, because Anubis is one of the worst arena mages in my opinion, mainly because almost all of her abilities leave her open, or not all of them, because I guess she does have the grasping hands that lets her move, but her ult and her 1 lock her in place for the duration, so she can't get that damage. Put the wall. I love doing that. So she can't get that damage off, or she. I'm not calling Anubis a she. What the heck? Anubis can't get the damage off without standing. Ooh, wow, I cannot speak. Because Anubis's abilities lock him in place, he can't get his damage off without just standing there, which leaves him really open for ults from Freya, from Poseidon, from Ymir's freezes. It's just not a good combination in arenas. Wow, it took me 10 minutes to say that. Sorry. There goes Baka again. crazy damage, nothing I can do. Just running into my teammates to hope for the help, but look at that. He nukes Nemesis, and since I turned around to stay, that kind of got me into trouble too. Now Freya's in trouble, all alone. Anubis missed the Mama Fire, whatever it's called, but then Bakasura comes in with that mad damage. I probably should have gone right here, but I wanted Isis for some reason, and she's pretty squishy, so I was doing some decent damage to her. And then looks like we were able to finish her. But then Baka comes, and I'm trapped in the corner. I trapped myself with the wall, which was actually a decent wall because it was just me and Bakasura after I did that. And I had nowhere else to go, but I just got nuked by Baka. Couldn't do anything. They killed their whole team. They pushed the minions in, which was good, but they didn't really have any other way to make up all the points. They're already really far behind at this point. And since they high-res removed the mechanic to kill phoenixes to get some extra points, I mean, there's not too much you can do other than push waves in. They probably should have pushed that wave in too, but I guess they were all semi-low health and needed to go back to base. Nemesis ult was a good leap by Baka. You can see Anubis just got torn up there, even though he was ulting, because it just locked him in place. That was game. Pretty fun game. That's why you never give up in arenas. 4v5, ranked arenas. We grinded it out. GG. And I got God Mastery 9. I didn't even notice that. Checking out the stats real quick. Really good plays by all our teammates. So shoutouts. Changa, Freya, Nemesis, great job. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Peace.